Alrighty, welcome everyone to this exclusive interview with Anthony. Anthony recently completed his first $20,000 month trading in the stock market here as a student of our program, Graystone Premium. And I'm excited to sit down with you today, Anthony, to hear about what your journey has looked like. What were the activities that you were involved in on a daily basis to get this amazing milestone that you just wrapped up in November? So I think this will be a super valuable interview for folks to check out.
Hi, Andy. Thanks very much. Looking forward to it. Um, yeah, so I started in March of 2024. Um,
And,
saw,
and,
I
and
think,
by the way, we're recording this on December 3rd of 2024. So it's been, an extremely quick ramp for you to start an entirely new skill set, and be able to hit your first $20,000 month in well under a year. So that's absolutely fantastic.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it really comes down to your program and following the rules, which I didn't to start with. I probably made a lot of mistakes that a lot of people getting into your program do. Um, I I interviewed with Thomas, went through the whole process, signed up, just immediately started watching video after video after video, and probably after the first month, I was completely done with paper trading. Um, got my account funded with $2,000. Um, started diligently just following along, copying trades. Profits were extremely small because I was only trading 4 contracts, but I set a goal.
So for context for folks listening, you had a $2,000 account. You were trading with around $600 a trade, which is absolutely what you should be doing. And you know, our system is not at all about turning $2,000 into $20,000 in one day, one week, or a month. And so you were doing exactly what you should have been doing, trading with small size with a small account and experiencing small profits or small losses when you had losing trades and losing days.
Yeah, it's most definitely not going to happen with 4 contracts. You're not going to get, huge gains, huge profits. I I kind of set a goal to start out at. I wanted to do, like $25 to $50 a day. If it was, if everything worked like it was supposed to as a profit. So, my goal was $100 for the week. If I got that before the week, then I just downsized to 2 contracts and kind of worked that way, and followed the rules and kept building and building and building. Got my account up to roughly $4,000 and thought, I got this. I know what's going on. So I went to 8 contracts and broke every rule that you had set. Next thing I know, I was down to $1,500 after about a week. Thought, okay, there's rules in place for a reason. So follow the rules. I'm not going to put any more money into it. I'm going to build it back up again. After, I guess I'm kind of hard headed after the third time. Um, I figured, okay, stop, follow the rules. They're there for a reason. Um, Reset my goal, accomplished it. Had my $100 a week for a whole month, upscaled. Now I had $150 for the week. Okay, I'm going to upscale again. After I did that for 2 weeks, I upscaled again, and I just kept doing that. Once I got my account to I want to say to the $5,000 mark, I put in another 5,000 because at that point in time, I convinced myself I know the rules, I'm following the rules. There's just no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And I found that working from home was not me. So I rented an office space, and I get up every morning at 5 o'clock, do my morning thing, and I go to work. This is my job till 11:30, 12 o'clock, or if I just sit around the rest of the day and twiddle my thumbs, it doesn't really matter. But I had to get up and actually change my mindset to focus and go to work.
Nice.
And then as I kept building my account, this is the first time I've actually taken profits out of my account. Again, I went from 4 to 8 to 16, and I just kept setting my goals. And one of your videos talked about when you feel like it's time to upgrade or change your account, sit on it for a week and then wait. And if you still feel the same way at the end of the week, then either deposit your money, because that takes 3 to 4 days, and then wait until the end of that week. So I just kind of said, okay, if I feel like I'm going to do this, I'll do my week, whether I'm going to deposit or just make a change. I'll wait another week, see how things go. And that's kind of how I've done it ever since that point, which was about 4 months into it. And it's worked, and the system works. I thought, I was looking at all these different things. I had probably 20 indicators, Fibonacci's, all this stuff, and I got rid of it. I found one indicator that marks my pre-market high, pre-market low, open, prior day high, prior day low, and that's it. That's all I have as any type of indicator on there. And it was just I found this, and it actually saves me time. I don't have to think about it, and then it keeps them in history, so I can go back and look and readjust maybe key levels or whatever I have to from that point. But it's just, again, your whole system comes down to following the rules and taking the emotion out of it. Every time I screwed up in the beginning, it was because I felt like SPY was going against me, or I think it's going to go up and it's going down. So I don't have any control over that. Like you said, stop thinking about it and just follow the rules. Find your key levels and trade accordingly.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's so true. And the reason why I constructed and created this rule-based system is because the stock market is the greatest wealth creation vehicle in history, but most everyday people like you and me, people that aren't working at the big banks and hedge funds that have all of this infrastructure to support making astronomical amounts of money, we can very easily become a victim to the very real emotional responses that we have. And it's the stock market is a game of greed and fear. And if you don't have these boundaries and these rules that prevent you from feeding into that greed and fear and all of this emotional involvement at stake, then you're just gonna go off the deep end and um and
Oh,
and
absolutely.
indulge in feeding those emotions. And it's a never-ending cycle of immense chaos and volatility. And it can, for me personally, when I was going through this journey, just impacted my personal life in a way that was really really weighed on me. And I know a tremendous amount of people have had the same thing. So when you can create a system where you follow the same steps every single day, no questions asked, like you said, oftentimes you're done by 11 or 12, um, and that's it. And you're done for the day and you've done your work for the day. It's an incredibly powerful thing. And your ability to abide by that, as you said, is the exact reason why you've had this tremendous level of success.
100%. That's why your system works. You can't vary from the rules, and if you just follow them, good or bad, if you lose, you lose. um it's not gambling, so to speak, sitting at a blackjack table. But um if you try to have the mindset that, oh, I lost $100, I got to make that back plus more that day, you're going to lose $500 that day. You lost, accept the loss, move on, and don't even think about it. And if it really bothers you that much, get up, walk away, I'll take my dog for a walk or whatever I have to do. When I see, if I have a really good morning and 1 or 2 trades, I'm done. I just lock my account, I walk away, and the dog and I go for a walk or whatever it is, whatever it is I have to do, because I don't want to sit and stare at it. I'm done. I'm happy with what I made, so I can move on for the day. Um, greed greed can be horrible. an absolute horrible thing.
Yes.
Um, and in being impatient, I found myself in the beginning being very impatient. Okay, thinking that it's got to move faster. It's got to move faster. It's got to move faster, and it's not going to. If you try to push that, um, you're just going to lose. You're gonna hurt yourself in the long run. Um, I don't know how to stress anymore to anybody that watches this video about, again, following the rules. And I think maybe most people will make that mistake once or twice in the beginning. Um, please make it small. You've experienced this and talked to a number of students and in your program, so I'm sure I'm not uncommon in that aspect. But the best thing you can do is make your mistakes small, make your wins big, and that's kind of the whole relevance behind your system. Also, but don't not follow the rules and blow things.
Yes, absolutely. Super valuable insight, Anthony. I'd love to take a step back and if you could share a little bit more about your background and then specifically what led you to take action to join our program to learn the skill. What gave you that desire to dive into this?
Um, I've been a mechanic pretty much all my life. I have a degree in engineering, but didn't like sitting in an office on that aspect. But just been an automotive mechanic, taught for quite a few years, and then opened up my own business. Had my own automotive repair shop, a used car lot, and towing service for. I had that from 2018 to 2023. When I sold it, my wife was going to have some major surgery on her foot, so she told me, let's just, take care of her. I was going to take care of her for a few months, and then kind of got bored sitting around. And it's something I've always been interested in as far as the stock market goes and trading. And I knew you could make money. I just didn't know how everything worked. And I've dabbled in it over the years and just never got all the information um, easily and understandably, if that makes any sense. There's all kinds of gurus out there that want to sell you everything under the sun, and we can do this and we can do that. And when I saw your, I think it was an Instagram post, and it's something with it just kind of clicked and made sense. And I saved it and I kind of sat on it, and I found myself going back actually a couple times and rewatching it. And then a couple more popped up, and it was like, you know what? I just kind of dove in and started researching what you were talking about, and it made sense. And it was simple, for lack of a better words. It just kind of broke everything down to the basics. You don't need all this fancy stuff, and you don't have to have, all this stuff to accomplish a goal. And so I joined the program, and like I said, I think in the first week I watched every video. I think it was it Nick at the time when I first started. So between you and him, I watched every video you guys had for the year and just kept going at it and going at it, and would go back and make notes. I think I filled up 2 legal pads full of notes. Because that's just the kind of person I want to know how things work, and I want to understand how things work. And I threw a whole lot of extra things into your system that weren't there. And I think that's part of the reason, or at least I made them up in my head. Um, and I think that's why I had the issues I did when I first started. And once I just went back and, okay, here's the basics. You need support, you need resistance. I don't care which way or what's going on for the day. When it goes above or below, make your trade. And, I made myself a little cheat sheet. So it was easier. I know where I put my 10% loss in. I know where my first 10% sale is going to be, 15% my second quarter, and then my final quarter at 20%. And within a penny or two, I just plug the information in on my ladder on Webull and wait for it to happen. You know, I set my stop losses accordingly, and um, I tried trailing a few times like Jerry, and I've done well with them, and sometimes I haven't. Um, so it's kind of something I play with. But if I sell at 10, 15, and 20 for the day, I'm done with that trade. I don't question it. I don't look at it. If the chart's in front of me and it's still either going up or going down, the FOMO thing, it's, oh, I should have kept it. I should have stayed. No, I'm done. I just have to be done. Hey, there's always going to be another trade. I can wait for the afternoon or maybe later on in the morning, depending on what the market looks like and what it's doing. But I don't, I don't try to push anything, and I try not to be greedy. I just, follow those steps, and it just works it just seems to work for me. I tried to take all my emotions out of it, like you say.
Yeah, I love it, brother. That's so great. And like you said earlier, you know, you're going to fall into some of these traps. And, the most important piece is that they're restricted to just a couple of times and they're not super costly, and you learn your lesson. And if that's the case, that's a huge win for me, because for me, it took me over a year. It took me a year of trading, not having any idea what I was doing, where I had tremendous success initially and then lost everything. And then many, many months of tinkering with different ways of expressing what I knew I needed to have, which was a robotic system where I could implement the same steps every day. But it took me a tremendous amount of time to figure that out. And so, at the very least, if that uh, period of immense learning lessons can be contracted into one or two experiences where you have the playbook, it's right next to you, and you decided to deviate from it, and now you've learned your lesson and you abide by that rule-based system, it's a huge win. And you're a perfect example of that, where yeah, you fell into those traps. As human beings, we're going to make mistakes, but it's not the mistakes that we make that define us. It's how we respond, and activate ourselves thereafter, that really defines who we are. And so I really applaud you for taking those experiences as learning opportunities and really holding true to the trader, the man that you knew you needed to be to get the outcome that you wanted. And so let's talk about that for a second. Can you walk me through the past 6 weeks or so leading up to this milestone month for you, that's kicking off this new phase of scaling and more and more levels of income from trading?
Yeah, so October, um, October was actually a really good month for me. I hit my monthly goal, with all my own trades, of 10,000, and um, I, actually it was like 10,200 and some dollars.
Amazing.
Um,
With what account size did you start the month with?
I think I started with either 58 or 60,000.
Okay.
Um, I've put a few dollars in, but mostly it's been growing.
Yeah.
I've just kept growing my account, not taking anything out. So I started October with that, and I hit my first goal. And at that time, I was trading 40. I think I was trading 40 accounts on a regular, or 40 contracts on a regular basis.
Okay. So
Um,
about $5,000 a trade,
yeah,
risking a max loss of $500 per trade.
correct.
Fantastic.
Um, I I'd have to go back and look, but I think I had actually, I only had a total of, I think, 4 days for the whole month of October that were red for me. It was still a green month. I set my goals, like a weekly goal, and I have a monthly goal, but I kind of break it down into weeks for
Yep.
me. And as I was scaling my account and scaling the number of contracts I traded, it was just the evenness kind of works for me. Maybe it's ADA, ADHD, or whatever, OCD. But I didn't want to. I found myself always just trading kind of even numbers. So, half of it, a quarter of it, and a quarter of it was just, so I kept adjusting and trading, whether it was one contract or 5 contracts, it didn't matter.
Yep.
They needed to be even for me. So it was simple. And I would just follow my trades. If for some reason it was only, maybe I only got half off that morning, um, and I couldn't get a full trade out of it, I would wait and see what the rest of the morning would look like. Maybe get in a look at the afternoon, um, see what kind of was going on there. And but I set myself, okay, I can't take any more than 2 trades a day. That was my feeling into it. I don't want to push my luck, whether it be good or bad. I just figured I'm going to do 2 trades a day and that's it. That's all I should need to kind of move along in my direction. But October went extremely well. I hit my goal for it. And then when November 1st came around, I'm like, okay, I'm going to upscale again. Because I thought about it halfway through the month. I'm like, nope, I'll again follow my rules. I'll give it the 2 weeks. And if everything stays good, then I'll upscale. And that's what I did. And I went from 40 contracts to 80 contracts. So I kind of broke the um, rule a little bit on my percentage, but as I started out each week, if I hit my goal for the week by Wednesday or Thursday, then I just dramatically downscaled, and
Beautiful.
and worked along like that, and just kind of kept trying to preserve. And I think for November I had 2 days that were, or 2 red days for the whole month of November for trading.
Tremendous.
But and the reason why, what kind of motivated me was I think it was one of the first videos that you did with Ryan, where he hit his 50,000 goal for the month 3 days early, and I'm like, I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna beat him some way, shape, or form. No offense, Ryan, but Ryan was a super help. When I was kind of struggling, I just sent him a Telegram message and asked him if he had a minute to answer a question. And he happened to be in the airport, and I sent him a picture of a trade I made, and he kind of walked me through where I made the mistake and what it was. And you've talked about it, and Jerry's talked about it, and I know Ryan and um, Joycey and Tom and everybody about forcing a trade. And the more you stare at the chart, you can see whatever you want to see in that aspect. I can make a trade and see support and resistance in 5 seconds if I just stare at it long enough, and I can convince myself of that. And
Right.
that's not good. It's not true. You're just trying to push yourself and force something. Um, in my mornings now, when I turn on the computer, when I get to work and turn on the computer and open up Telegram, it probably takes me 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I can't really explain why. I see support and resistance where, or at least where I want to start with it when the market's going to open. And I just kind of adjust accordingly. And once I set my key levels, I don't mess with it. I don't second guess. You can't second guess yourself. If I'm if I'm a few cents off from Jerry or you, it's the same level, and you said that repeatedly before. So I know when I set my levels and you guys show yours, hey, if I'm within a few cents, okay, my mindset's right, I'm going. But then Yeah, so in November, I just kind of I had my game plan, and there's times I'm listening in the background, but I may or may not take the same trade that Jerry comes up with, or I may see it a little differently with support and resistance. And just once you're comfortable, set your game plan and stick to it. If if you see Jerry taking a trade, you're not comfortable with it, or you have a different thought, my support level is here or whatever, stick with your plan, journal your plan, stick with your plan, and just the rules are the same, whether it's Jerry's trade, your trade, Ryan's trade, or my own personal trade. You set your plan, follow the rules, and it will take care of itself. Once you click buy, you stick with your plan. You're done with it. Don't make adjustments to it, and focus on that. And it's just worked. I don't know how else to say it. It just works if you follow the rules and follow your plan.
Yeah, I love it. That's so great. This has all been just so insightful, and I think people will appreciate hearing this from you so much. The last question I have for you, Anthony, what has this success and learning this skill that allows you to earn this type of income with 1 or maybe 2 hours of work per day, what has it done for you personally and for your family?
Oh, it's just it's been a tremendous relief. Um, I mean, I'm essentially retired. My wife still is working just because she wants to. She wants something to do during the days. Um, but it's just, I'm done now. I get up in the morning, I do what I need to do. I go get my granddaughter on the bus in every morning now, see my grandkids every day, at least during
Wow.
the week. And then she goes, she's the last one on. So she goes to school, and I come to work, and if they need something, I just do it. Okay. I can shut the computer off. I can leave, go do whatever. If one of the kids are sick from school, or, we just want to spend a day, I just do it. I don't have to think about it. I don't have, oh, I got this to do, or I got to be at work, or I got to do that. I just do what I want to do and take care of my family and spend whatever time I want with them. That's the ability and freedom of just being comfortable is, I can't put a price on that. I've spent my whole life working 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, because that's what I was raised like and what I knew. If my kids needed something or my family needed something, uh, I know what to do. I'm going to go to work. I'll do what I have to do to work, get it, and here it is. And now, if my family wants something, okay, give me a few days. Let me sit at the computer and see what I can do. And it's just, it's an amazing feeling to be able to not not have to worry about my 9 to 5 day, and again, being able to do what I have to do with my family. And a lot of times, during the summer, this summer, my granddaughter would sit with me on the boat, and I would just trade, and she'd sit next to me and just watch. Hopefully she will show more interest in it. She's only 8 now. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can get her hooked into it, and um, she can understand, and they can, all my family can benefit from it.
That's so awesome, Anthony. I love the aspiration you have to pass this skill on to other members in your family, to your grandchildren, and just to hear the way that you've been able to transform your life into one of freedom and being able to exclusively focus on your family and being able to live your days as you please, living life on your terms instead of somebody else's terms, um, is is empowering, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful that you took action, that you abided by the plan that I set out for you to abide by, and it's all because of you taking ownership and you deciding that you wanted to become this person and you being really clear on the daily activities, the daily inputs that are required to get that outcome that you wanted. And you've just done a fantastic job. It's an inspiration for me to hear, and I know for everyone listening as well. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Andy. I truly can't thank you enough for your time and putting this together, and owning my own business, and being an entrepreneur and having your own business with this. I know the hours that you put in and the time and dedication you have to put in, and it's just, I really truly can't thank you enough, for this program and your what you put together, to be truly life changing to people. And again, it comes down to, like you said, you have to take ownership. You have to be responsible and take ownership. It's not an easy journey in the beginning. It takes time, and I think patience is the biggest factor that most people will have. I think we live in a society today that everybody wants now, and you can't get now. Nothing is instant. You have to work for what you want. I was raised that way. I always believe that. I've raised my kids and my grandkids. I raised my grandkids that way. If you want something, you have to work for it, and you have to figure out in yourself how much are you going to put forth towards it. And if you only put in half or a quarter of what needs to be, those are the results you're going to get. You know.
Yep, absolutely. 1000%. Well, Anthony, it's been a fantastic pleasure to sit down with you here today. And I can't thank you enough for, again, taking action, abiding by the system, becoming this trader, this individual, and for sharing your journey. It'll be a huge inspiration to so many others who are starting this journey, who are on their way. And so I'm super excited for people to be able to give this a watch.
Thank you very much again. And again, thank you for the opportunity and putting this program together. And if anybody ever has any questions, feel free to shoot me a Telegram message, and I will try to answer whatever I can to help anybody, because the community just, it is awesome. It doesn't matter who it is. Everybody seems to always help everybody. And that's what really helps.
It is, yes, it is a true blessing. Well, for those of you watching, hopefully you got value out of this one, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care.
Thanks, Andy.